Man, you know this game is so good at setting the tone for itself because I was fine when I was booting up the game, and then as soon as I came into the scene, tension, anxiety, it all comes back to you. Hello, Baby Gangsters, this is Calvin, also known as Norman, and this is my first ever playthrough of Your Turn to Die. And I think we're going to be extracting statements. I think we might have already talked to them a little bit last time. But we say, I took the box and I sat and hid in the kitchen. I didn't even touch anything in the room. Sitting in the dark, I asked him questions again and again, even though I wouldn't get an answer. It's interesting, again, and this is maybe like Ace Attorney brain, like, triggering. Like, when she says I didn't touch anything in the room, right? Is that implying that we have to, like, maybe say, like, hey, maybe you did touch something in the room? You know what I mean? Because, like, again, I have no problem saying I think about it in Ace Attorney brain sometimes, when a character goes like, I didn't even eat the burger. And it's like, did you eat the burger? You know what I mean? It's like, if they mentioned they didn't do it, it's like, did you touch something? Talk to Kai. After everyone else, I inspected the kitchen and found no signs of trickery. Miss Sarah, you searched before me. You should be aware of this as well. Okay. I see lots that's illogical about Nao's actions. Aren't you curious what she was doing in the room? I wonder if she really was just hiding. There we go as well, yeah. So seems to want to imply something. This is the thing, right? So I think the combination of her being like, I didn't touch anything, and then So being like, was she just hiding? Was she doing something else? Implies that she did touch something, or that we have to maybe say she touched something. And if we look at the evidence we have, right, I'm sure, like, we don't have anything to do, because again, I was thinking, like, maybe the empty box, maybe? But we don't have the empty box, in terms of the empty yellow box. Remember, we said it was empty, and I thought that maybe, like, could be something we could do here. But we don't have an empty box, right? Because I thought that was going to come up, even, like, in between episodes when I was editing, I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be, like, something to do with, like, maybe the empty box, but we don't even have it as evidence, right? So she did touch something in the kitchen. But I don't know if we have to do that by... Because again, it's one of those things we could do like a versus statement, maybe, and have So go up against Now, maybe? And see, because if he wants to imply something, maybe he can imply it himself. I don't believe I'm saying anything strange. Okay. Okay, so that was... Yeah, our cloud went down. Our cloud went down. Okay, so that's... The cloud is clearly then for, like, our lifeline. If we lose all cloud, I feel like we lose it completely. So it's not a versus thing, then. Because you could put it like Kai maybe versus Sue, but I think that's way less of an argument than before as well, which is like, hey, I didn't see anything bad, because then what can he argue against that? So can't be like, yes, you did. But then we already extracted, so we need evidence then. Oh, remember a box with a note saying, please use as you wish. This is where there was no knife. Are we going to imply that maybe she was the one who like grabbed the knife possibly? Is that what we're going to imply with Now? Because again, it's the combination of everything, right? First I thought it was maybe going to be a versus. Actually, for in between episodes, I thought we were going to have to use the yellow box, but then I remember we didn't even have it as evidence. That was my first thought when I was like editing. It's like, oh, maybe the yellow box has come up. But then I was like, oh, we don't have it as evidence. And then here, the verses didn't work, and it's clearly just because So doesn't have evidence, right? So she's saying I didn't touch anything, and So's saying she did more than just hide in the kitchen. Then maybe we can imply that she was the one who took the knife, just based on the wording. I took the box and just sat in the kitchen. I didn't even touch anything in the room yet. It's the whole thing of I didn't even touch anything in the room. Love this UI. The cut-in's so good. Did you really not touch anything? Huh? The kitchen had been locked until then. And after you left, now we obtained this long, narrow box. There was nothing inside, but there was a code. I just thought it was made for the code, But I guess not. Only Now could have taken the knife out of it. Oh, man. Do you think she actually has the knife? I don't even think about that. Hold on. When did Now find the key to the kitchen? Anyway, that's what I'm confused about, too. How did she get into the kitchen? I'd love to know that. Like, and if she could be honest with us and tell us that, it would go a long way, right? And again, I come from, like, again, as I said, Ace Attorney, Danganronpa background. I know the different games, but it's never going to leave my mind the whole idea of trials and stuff like that as well. But, like, usually the best way of, like, finding the actual truth if you're, like, innocent, and not that it's, like, just an innocence thing here. Here we're just trying to prove, like who's going to die. Like, it's not even, like, someone committed a crime here, But it's one of those situations where, like, it would be better if Now can be honest as possible, It was open. Oh, wait, the kitchen door was open? Already? But then it was locked when we got there again. Did she lock it from the inside, possibly? The kitchen door was unlocked at the time. So I ran and unlocked it. Okay, she locked it from the inside. But who would have unlocked it? Then somebody else went in first. That's who took the knife. Oh my god, he's so adorable. Again, is so adorable. First, I carried Alice over to the pink room. Okay. We carried Alice over to the pink room. At that time, someone dug through the kitchen, took the knife, and left. So that was when we just did the escape room. Someone took it, the knife at that point then. Finally, now went into the kitchen with the box and locked herself in. This is a crazy timeline because so many things have to like line up so perfectly. Like someone had to have not seen now at that time going to the cafeteria. Like, and it's possible because this place does seem big. But there has to be like a lot of possibilities that goes into that, you know? Does the timing work out? So the timing we're talking about is we took, if I'm not mistaken, we got Alice. We brought Alice from the red room to the bar, right? Wasn't it the bar? At that point then, someone then took at that point someone was taking the knife from the room in the unlocked kitchen room door, and then after that now went in. Maybe that's logical. It's super sketchy though. It's actually very like, to me it requires a precise moment where nobody would see her. Did our cloud go back up? Oh, does your cloud go back up if you get something right? It's not sketchy in the least. I'll tell you anything. Here's the thing. I don't think that was like evil or anything. Again, what's so difficult about this type of trial is that it's not like we're trying to like find out who killed somebody. We're trying to like, it's actually very dark in a way of like trying to find out who is like the person that's going to just be up for the chopping block. You know what I mean? Based on like, you know, details of like, oh, you picked up a knife, so you're more dangerous, you know, which again is in the real world, that wouldn't even be like a thing where like, it's like, something you can really say is something you can doubt somebody for, right? Someone picking up a knife. But in a situation like this, you understand maybe from their perspective, they're like, well, why'd you need a knife, you know? Because again, you're in closed space. You're in a dangerous situation. Someone attacks you know, there's like a situation where you don't know if there's a betrayer amongst you. And then the first thing you're going to think of is like, did now betray us by picking up this knife and she's going to use it later. Well then, miss, now tell us what you're doing in the kitchen, with a smile on his face. Okay, we made progress. Great. This is such a great game. The whole time I just sat in the hell professor, the box. I didn't move an inch. So she changes the box this time? Well, guess you just have to break the ice, Sarah. Yeah, I need to ask her about that. So now KG's opened up as well here as well. I like the way different characters open up each time. The whole time I just sat there, the professor with the box, I didn't move an inch. So are they maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but the idea that she changed the name professor to the box, so it became less about the professor, but now about the box. And we do know the box was empty when we looked at it. Sitting in the dark, I asked him questions again and again, even though I wouldn't get an answer. So what do you got to say about this? I guess I'll just have to break the ice, Sarah. If she never let it go, then I wonder why the box is empty. Yeah, that's what we were thinking. Yeah, I knew it was going to come up somehow, but we'll just have to ask her. So, do we do a versus here? Because it's the fact that she changed the statement to the box as well. She's so sweet. She's just a sweet face. She's so adorable. Yeah. So you're lying, huh, now? Oh my god, man. And again, why this? We know there's someone who's betraying us amongst us, you know, more than likely. But the reason, again, as I said, I keep saying the reason why it's so brutal is because it's not, again, we're not trialing like a murderer. It's not like someone, you know, yes, people have died. I want to make it clear. People have died in this place by the kidnappers. So obviously, like, in a way, it is like trying to say who is most likely to betray us, right? But it's not like we're saying for definite, like, you killed someone, you know? We're just trying to decide who's one of the five that's going to die. What? There's nothing in the box. Nothing at all. That can't be right. Did she legitimately think there was something in the box? It's true now. What's that? I don't know anything. The professor was with me the whole time. Where did he go? Is this an act? No, I ain't the kind of gal. There's got to be a reason it vanished. Reiko has such a beautiful soul. She really does. The mystery of the vanishing head. What a way to put it. But I want to be clear. Yeah, people have died. As I said, Mishima died. Kana's sister has died, right? But I'm saying, like, as a definite, like, You know, we haven't seen anyone stab someone, or we haven't seen someone be stabbed by some, or like, you know what I mean? It's not like we're suspecting people of a murder amongst us, like, right now. If now it's just acting, then can't really put together why she'd need to lie to us here. What's going on? I don't understand. Okay, more progress. We'll take it. We'll definitely take it. I certainly lost sight of myself, but I've done nothing suspicious. I don't know why I disappeared. Now, respected for Mishima, maybe her shock was so great that she unconsciously did something strange. I do like Joe's explanation in a way, where it's like when you're not in your right mind. I wouldn't put it past her if she like stashed the head somewhere else and then forgot she stashed the head somewhere. Like again, I'm not trying to like just run defense for characters all the time, but I do think it is a possibility when you're not in your right headspace. You must have got swapped at some point when her box with the kidnappers prepared. Blaming the kidnapper as well. A rational way of arguing this. And I love how every character has like a very like their own personality and injecting their own like very kind of, in my opinion, rational thought process. They already messed with us with the doll and the darts. Why wouldn't they mess with us with the box as well? It's a rational thinking point at this moment. The contents of the box are warped, you know, like a dimensional teleporter thing. Gin is making the most sense. That's now being manipulated by the kidnappers. Is that a possibility? So is very interesting to me. So everyone else is kind of like trying to, like, this is why the personalities are so interesting. Joe was trying to explain why it could have been something in a mental space, right? Reiko's trying to explain why it could be something in to do with the kidnappers, right? Gin is trying to like explain why it could be something magical. So goes right to like, you know, are you manipulated by the kidnappers? You're a liar, Sarah. Like he goes directly for like the heart sometimes, you know? Is there no good lead? So we have a lot of people speaking up here. The switching of the boxes might make sense, but I think we're just gonna have to like, is this I wonder if it's gonna be a versus thing or what is it gonna be? The whole manipulation thing is interesting to me, but it's now being manipulated by kidnappers. Is that a possibility? Maybe she was on the kidnapper's side to start, or maybe brainwashed or something. It's a leap. To me, it's a leap to make this assumption right now. Doubting doesn't feel good, does it? It shouldn't. It definitely shouldn't. And then your one is, yeah, respected her and talked about she did something unconscious. It's not like we always act in the most logical way, right? Exactly. You're so correct. I agree with you. This is after the awful vote, and I felt now. If I felt that what now felt, I'd. If you felt like now, what would you do? That's an interesting question, right? Joe, if it had been you lost someone precious in that vote, what would you do? If it were me, rather than grieve, I might just snap. And we said this before, right? I said it like literally like 2 episodes ago, and even last episode. We're surprised more people haven't snapped. You know? And we've said this. We're surprised more people haven't snapped. Snap? Like, who the hell voted for Sarah? I'd look for the culprit on the spot. Oh, Joe, thank you so much. Of course, I know full well if it was Miley to blame, but I might take my anger on everyone else. Joe's being very mature here. This is actually very mature. It's mature to talk about your it's not immaturities, your how you know that you wouldn't act in a perfect way in this situation. That's what I mean. You don't always follow logic. He's so correct. He's not wrong. He is not wrong whatsoever. And we said this. In these situations, no one is going to be their exact selves. Do you think, as you said, Kataro, do you think Kataro goes around blaming everyone and accusing everyone of, or telling people to, like, you know, start being more useful all the time? No. Do you think So's on the outside of this place going, like, to everybody, like, you're a murderer? No. You know? The only one who's probably, like, acting as they probably go outside is Gin, who's, like, you know, talking about interdimensional stuff. You know what I mean? They have their own personality still as who they are on the outside, but it's like, you have to understand it's mixed with terror and paranoia. Maybe so. If someone else killed him, anger would be a natural response. Okay. It must have gotten swapped at some point when her box with the kidnappers prepared. I mean, this place is full of crap like that. The kitchen was pitch black. It got swapped in the dark. She wouldn't notice. I don't think it's, again, right? I don't know if that's the truth. I'm not really believing this fully, but like, again, it's a rational thought. They've already done so much weird things already with the dolls and stuff. I certainly lost sight of myself, but I've done nothing suspicious, and I don't know why it disappeared. To me, Professor Misha was a very, very important figure. Who's Professor Misha in the vote? Were you sad or were you angry? Could we ask, were you angry, I guess? Not so much angry as sad. It was so depressing and painful. I didn't want to believe it was reality. You were sad? Yes, you understand, right? Of course. Jesus Christ, you'd be sad. Wasn't she curious about who voted for Professor Mishima? Wait, so you think that she would be angry in this situation, would be wanting to get revenge, maybe? Is that what the line of thought we're going to? Maybe. I don't know. The contents box warped me out like a dimensional teleporter thing. This place must be a hyper-advanced mansion. Meow. Honestly, we'll go with that. We have to go with that. You know the rules. Cutest decides. Again. Pixis now isn't a bad person, Meow. Do something. Oh, of course, I'll try my best. And then let's talk to So. So's like, we should execute her. Miss now being manipulated by the kidnappers is not a possibility. Maybe she was on the kidnapper's side to the start. Or brainwashed or something. Downing doesn't feel good, does it? So, let's see what we have here. Like, what do you think we can gather out of this? Because I will say, this is much harder for me to ascertain than, like, you know, some other games where you have to do, like, these type of questioning stuff here as well. So let's try and go over everything, right? Joe thinks that she would have done something... that he would have done something crazy as well. So he's trying to rationalize her actions, which, again, not a bad idea. We've done it before as well. So, believes that she could have been manipulated, right? That she could have done something... that she could have been working with him from the start, or she could have been manipulated from the start. Now is saying that she was very upset, but she's not saying she was angry, or she's not mentioning that she wanted revenge in some way. And Reiko is saying that it could be the fault of the people and the kidnappers. So I don't know. I'm not sure. We have a lot of clout. We could try to do some verses. But who would we put against each other? What ideas clash? What ideas clash here, do you think? Do you think Reiko and So's ideas clash? Because So is saying that, like, it could be that she's working with the kidnappers, while Reiko's saying the kidnappers did it themselves. Should we try that? It wouldn't be harm in trying, right? Ain't gonna kill us. We have a lot of clout still. And maybe go up against... It must have gone soft at some point. Maybe try it here? It's probably not gonna work, but we'll see. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Okay, that's not gonna work. What can we do? We don't have evidence, right? Rulebook 1. Torn paper, long, narrow box. We could try another verses as well before then. I have to really think, because then, like, what? Maybe... Well, let's talk to now again. So she's saying that, like, I was more sad, right? The pain, you all can understand it. Wait, does that mean it has to go up against... So maybe we go up against these two, because actually what Joel's saying is that, like, hey, she might go up against, yeah, maybe, let's try. We'll try it. Because she's saying I wasn't angry, I was sad. I didn't have that feeling to do that, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that makes sense. Because I think the reason why I have to get out of the headspace of, like, kind of like, the versus isn't just going to be like, I have such a vastly different view to you all the time. It can be a thing where, like, in this case, Joe is trying to help. Joe's trying to rationalize how she would feel, while also trying to be very rational and saying that, like, wouldn't she be angry, right? So it's not like he's being mean to her. He's saying that, like, the feelings of picking up this knife to be angry would be normal, but she's saying the opposite. We just have to look for the opposite answer, even if it seems like they're on the same side in some ways, right? Huh? Maybe I just got a rough disposition, but why didn't you think about looking for the culprit? I mean, it wasn't an accident. It's because of the votes that such a terrible thing happened to someone you deeply respected. And again, I think Joe's such an honest character, right? Because I think a lot of times when we're just initially upset, we all think that way, where it's like, if someone hurts someone we love even slightly, we're like, man, I'd love to just, like, get that guy and tell him what's for and all this stuff. But then later on, you kind of, like, realize that maybe it's not always the best option, depending on the situation. So I think it is, like, really rational and very honest and open for Joe to be like, yeah, I would freaking go and try to find this person and put them down, basically. You know what I mean? It makes me, like, respect Joe even more for being so open about this. You know what I mean? Because again, I think some people would be afraid in this situation to be the guy that goes, I'd freaking go out and find these people and get revenge. You know? It's especially in a situation where you have to trust everyone. You don't want anyone to be too dangerous. I think it's something I respect about Joe. Because even though, like, it's like, you know, like, you don't want to say it out loud, hey, I would kill these people. I think it's still a very respectable thing for Joe, in my opinion. Any more natural to get angry? In my opinion. Just being honest. I don't think so at all. Since I knew no one's vote had any ill will. Oh, no. So... maybe didn't respect... So? What? Maybe Miss Now and Professor Mishima didn't have any bond at all. What? Then I can understand her mindset of not seeking out the culprit. I don't think that's totally fair though, right? It might lead to something, but like, maybe it's just not in her personality, right? Maybe she just doesn't see the ill. Because again, like I could imagine, for me personally, like the way I look at it is, I would see ill will. I would have ill will towards Miley more than anything. You know, it's gonna be interesting where this goes. Because again, I don't want to like stop So from doing the more like dangerous line of questioning, because I feel like it's actually gonna lead to something. But we gotta see where it leads to. How awful! You're just awful. I truly did. Sarah, what did you think? Their bond is real, their bond is a lie. That's such an interesting question. I felt it was very real. I think from the start she was respecting him. Right? Is there any reason we have to doubt it? Wait. Those two seem to have a great relationship. I can't point to some logical proof. There was just something about it. Now being this distraught couldn't have been an act. Yeah. And yes, there must be some reason for the professor disappearing head. The collar? Suppose Miss Now didn't stick Professor Misha's head in a box out of affection for him. What? I think So is like read a lot of mystery novels. You know what I mean? I think he's read a lot of mystery novels because he's coming up with like the very sharp turns here. Which again, it's probably going to progress things a lot further, but still scary. Rather, maybe your objective was to retrieve the collar on his neck? That's a crazy way of looking at it. In other words, information that Miley failed to retrieve. You're trying to say Now collected the collar in place of the kidnappers? Dunno. However, I should note your friendly policeman wasn't able to investigate the collar because Now was there. Interesting. And it's interesting how everything lines up, right? Where Keiji's like, I wasn't able to even go near the body for a while, and then the next thing we knew, she was running with the head. Hey, you being serious? What? What are you talking about? I don't know anything. Please, just stop it. And tell us, why didn't you care about who the culprit was after the vote? This is so well done in terms of like the cabin fever aspect, right? It really feels like, again, everyone's putting the pressure on each other because it's a life or death situation. And again, like I said, you can't look at this as like the way they would act in real life, right? Because this is such a horrible thing to say to anyone. Why didn't you care? Why didn't you go after the person? You know what I mean? In real life, this would be a situation where you'd be like, dude, shut the F up. And we will say shut the F up sometimes too, as you've seen last time we will as well, the way he was talking to Gin. But you have to always look at the perspective of what situation they're in right now. We know that someone attacks, so we know that someone's probably betraying us. We know there's probably someone who is on their side. We don't know who to trust. Professor Mishima was killed by the people who voted for him. You stop right there, Joe. Stop, don't say another word, I'm begging you. I'll tell you everything, Rick? What? Rico? I overheard all of it. What? It was just before the vote. What? Mishima said something quite enough that only somebody real close could hear. Miss Now, what is he about to say? This music's beautiful. Let us vote for each other? What? Even if this actually happened, even if it wasn't her fault that he died and there was two other people that voted for him, I wonder in her mind, does she feel like it was still one of my votes? If I didn't vote for him, it would have been 2 votes. But I don't think she can think that way, right? He said that? I think the vote was just a test. I'm sure Now voted for Mishima like he asked. But Mishima voted for... Oh, that's what they're trying to get at. He literally, he was the second vote for himself, which means only one other person. Only one other person then. Whoever did the other vote was the deciding factor. Well, no, because I think he had the most votes anyway, right? But he wanted to sacrifice himself, clearly. Because I bet he had, like, that means just like us, he had a little bit of doubts that it could be real. That's why we voted for ourselves, right? For sure. To protect his student just in case. That's why Now didn't look for the culprit. Don't bring up any ill will crap, because it doesn't matter. His death was an accident. Now. Oh, no. It was 3 votes though, right? Someone else voted for him as well. if I hadn't voted for him, I'm sorry now. All this time I think whoever voted for another person must have bad intentions. Was it just 2? It was 3 votes though, wasn't it? So regardless if she did the vote, regardless if he voted for himself, he would have died anyway, it feels like, right? Or did someone else have 2 votes as well? I forget. Just because I voted for myself. What? Wait, Joe, you voted for yourself? We did too. Yeah. So didn't you tell me you voted for Joe? Oh, conflict. There's a conflict because that's Soul tried to put that in her mind, that the idea that Joe voted for Mishima because he voted for Joe and Joe only got 1 vote. You are a liar with a great fashion sense. You are such a liar. He's such a liar. At this point you gotta choose, guys. Who do you trust, Sarah or So? What's this about, So? Don't worry about it, everybody. Miss Sarah asked me who I voted for, so I just told her whatever. She's so diligent, she must have taken it seriously. Now, So you call Sarah a liar earlier, now you're saying she just took us too seriously. At this point, you're the most suspicious person in the history of suspicion. This guy, this is the way I describe it, Sarah, 100%. This guy. He's a huge liar. Yeah, he's gone so far down on the trust ladder. I was giving him such a benefit of the doubt. He's gone so far down. So ultimately, are we just gonna ignore the missing head? Man, so lying, and then trying to make us out to be like we're not making us out to be liars this time around. He's making us out to be like silly. You know, oh, she believed it? Oh my god. That's still a big mystery, but seems like now did nothing wrong, at least. Maybe Rico was right about the idea. It got swapped at some point. And again, I wouldn't put it past the kidnappers, right? 100%. It's what they did with the dolls. Just discussing is pointless. Let's talk about that gorilla. The gorilla? For real? Kataro, I'm gonna say this right now. I think you are scared. I think you have a sweetness to you that like will come to pass and come out a lot more later on. You can't say for real when you spent like 20 minutes grilling a kid. You know what I mean? You know? You can't say for real. You okay ignoring it, Sarah? The disappearing head. I wonder, should we go into the next topic just to like get some progress out of this? But I am curious about where it could have gone, but I don't know if we're gonna get anything out of it. Like what can we do? We have no evidence. Now we'll just be like, oh yeah, like if she, let's say now did move the head, she's not gonna say she did, right? So I think we can go on to the next topic, right? Did you get what I'm saying? Oh, so sorry, that was bad manners. Hey guys, never gonna solve anything like this, but I think it's wonderful if you can trust each other this much after just meeting, you know? Oh my god. So when we said like let's move on, he was kind of like, oh yeah? Well, bad people always feign innocence. You mean the way like people lie and then try to make another person out to be the bad person? Is that it? You trying to say Now is a bad person? I just remember something. That Miss Now was the one who attacked. No. What is wrong with you? Wait, so she took the laptop? You know what's so hard now, right? This accusation is like, you have to take it with like more like a handful of salt. Because not only has he lied before, he's also tried to blame us for, or say we were lying as well. And then tried to say Joe voted for Mishima as well. Cannot be trusted. What? That was a close one. If I hadn't remembered that, she could have gotten away clean. What's the timeline on that, though? What do you mean if you haven't remembered it, by the way? Hadn't remembered it's crazy, so... Is this true or a lie? Question now. Shuts out. Oh my god, wait. I wonder if the game's trying to do a little bit of a switcheroo here in a way that, like, maybe this could be true, but this is why this game messes with your mind. Right? Because the reason I'm saying that it could be true is because, like, because the game has set up the fact that he has, like, lied before twice, and he's also it's also the fact that like he also like, you know, tried to make us out to be silly. I don't know. I think I might shut So's mouth. The reason I might shut So's mouth, right, is because I genuinely feel like I have to. I don't want him to get too much of a foothold into this thing now, because I'm starting to just be like, can we even like, can we even let him do this? You know, because I feel like if we let him do this, I feel like it's gonna go down a path that like might not be very good here. So I might just shut his mouth. Don't get in the, Jesus, don't go to the way, Sarah. I'll hear out anything, Miss Now. He's intentionally supposed to be, I think, an unhinged character right now. I think he is. Now's your only chance to tell the truth. If we're going to argue until one of us loses trust, I'll have to do my best too. Tell me, do you have that courage? Look at this, man. Yeah, they're not even hiding it. I kind of like that they're not even hiding that this character now is just like not trustworthy, you know? What? See, that's what I was talking about. I thought they were going to do like a little bit of like a switcheroo, because it's like, oh, you think she didn't, it's like, oh, like, yeah, because he lied all this time. So you're thinking like, oh, maybe he didn't hit her, or she couldn't have done that. But no, she did. What? Why? For real? That's so bad for you now, because now you're going to have less people trusting you for real now. You're joking, right? Why now? I was threatened? By who? Oh no. Oh no. And we already have a history with Kai as well. This is not good. We already have a history with him. Kai threatened me to strike. What? How did he threaten? What did he say to you? He's not speaking at all. Wait, what? Oh my god. You know what? The reason why this game is so good, right? In messing with your mind as well as messing with the game itself. The fact that like Suo, we know Suo lied, right? But now we know that even though he lied before, he told the truth about this. So now we always have to question everything he says. We can't just say everything he says is a lie. We have to question everything he says, right? Also, this is telling us that like characters like now are hiding stuff even though they're sweethearts. You know, we can't just do, oh, the sweetheart thing, you know? And then with Kai, it's also a thing as well where we're like, well, Kai, we know that he's our stalker. So we already have like a understandable dislike of him, you know? This is so well done. Kai threatened me to strike So in the head. After the body collection announcement, I ran to the box of the cafeteria where suddenly Kai pulled me by the hand and pushed me into the kitchen. Dude! Remain quiet. If you hide here, you won't be found. Okay. Kai protected me? It's quite admirable of you to stand up to the kidnappers, Miss Now. Please don't tell anyone about this. Once Kai knew the situation, he made me a proposal. Well then, Miss Now, would you indulge a request of mine? These are really good sprites. Like, this is like, you know, kind of inquisitive and like kind of being mysterious. What kind of request? That is enough. Don't be wet blanket. We're just getting to the good part. I'm astonished you would tell such lies, Miss Now. So he's saying his lies too. And then again, they've already taught us that just because someone is like someone you can't trust, it doesn't mean they're not telling the truth. It's so hard. And like, it intentionally like messes with your mind. Intentionally makes you go, who is telling the truth? Even if they're like again, he's a bad person. What he's done is horrible. The way he's made us feel is horrible. But it's still in our mind, we're going, but So was lying, and then he eventually told the truth technically as well. But now they're both saying it. Now Kai's saying it's a lie. So now we're kind of like going around our mind of like, what's true and what's fiction? What's true and what's a lie? It's not a lie. Kai, you deny threatening her? Indeed, if she had been threatened, she would have surely tell all at the start. For Miss Now has no reason to defend me. That's not wrong? Right? Like, why not just say this right away? Unless she felt threatened. You know what I mean? If she felt like something was going to happen to her, she might. Or in her situation of need, someone protecting her. And she doesn't know about Kai and the stalker thing, you know? It's quite different from when Al stood up for Miss Rico. Awful. You're awful, Kai. Oh, poor Now's going through it, man. Well, what's happening now? Oh, look at the artwork here as well. It's so cool. The discussion is stuck in equilibrium, failing to come to an agreement. Miss Now, you're attempting to drag in as many others as you can. Yeah, the artwork is always so cool for these. You're wrong. I cannot entertain these lies. I couldn't open the kitchen. I couldn't open the kitchen. I'd affirmed that, right? Like Now said she couldn't open the door to the kitchen. And neither could I. In fact, the kitchen was beyond the iron bars of the second floor, yes? I did not go to the second floor. How do you explain the, wait, what? Oh, wait, he's saying the key. The key's presence there. Could you have the door been picked open? The key was thrown from first floor. So is this his answer? This is her answer? Could the door have been picked open? The key was thrown from the first floor to the second floor. Wait. No. How could it be thrown? So I think we can affirm this maybe? It was... Or we can still deny as well. Can we deny this? Throwing key, what if it hits someone? That's probably not a good way to put it. Is that the issue? My diligence is betraying me. So maybe it's not that then. So maybe we affirm this. It could be lockpicking skills? Okay, we have limited answer. What? So maybe it's... What do we have to deny here? Could have been door been picked open. The key was thrown for the first time. So we, like, deny this maybe? Wait, we're saying the key was thrown? No. So do we deny this? Kai, can you pick a lock? I cannot, so it would be impossible. You can't? So wait, okay. I cannot. I'm so confused. Who's? Maybe this is hers and this is his. Oh no, it's sorry. Maybe these are her ones. I'm not sure here. So we got this right anyway. So I couldn't open the kitchen. So we affirmed this. And then this. So the only other thing we did was disaffirm. However, supposing I guided Miss Now to the kitchen, do you believe I could threaten her? I would need a weakness to threaten with. It's strange to protect me out of goodwill. These are going to take a little bit to get used to for 110%, these ones. I love the idea of it, but it's going to take some to get used to for me personally with my own assertions. So I would need a weakness to threaten with. So that is his, and it's strange to protect me without goodwill. It's interesting, because I think we could affirm both of these. Because you would need something to hang over her head, right? To threaten her with? But then again, it could just be, like, we know he's dangerous, right? We know he's dangerous from our perspective anyway. Again, I'm just going to try, because I'm not sure about this one either. Should I try... okay, so I need a weakness to threaten with is this one here, right? Oh no, maybe it's... Oh no, I think I'm getting it completely wrong here. It's not this and this on their sides. I think it's this and here for these answers, maybe. That's... Maybe? Oh god, I'm so confused about the way the UI is working here. I know it's my thought process of the way the UI working is that, like, this is the question that's come from Kai. This is the answer. This is the answer that's come from Now. And these are their affirm and denies. And this is their affirm and deny. But I think that's worked so far, but I don't know. So I would need a weakness to threaten with. Should we try affirming this? And see what happens? Exactly. If you took advantage of a weakness named the professor's head, would Miss Now hit the person with all her might just because of that? I need a little more proof. Yeah. Wait. No. Okay, it is this, I think. Sorry guys, I got the UI wrong completely. I think affirm and deny is for the actual statement it's over. That's my bad, I think. Yeah. So maybe if we affirm this. If she was threatened, why would now hit so? I'm kind of confused the way this is working, guys. I'm so bad. If she was threatened, why would now hit so? So. If she wasn't threatened. I'd love to know that myself. No good. Let me just get it. Maybe I'm an idiot, right? And that could be the case. But I'm so confused because I think affirm, like, with the way we just said this, okay, let's just guess from the answers. When we said affirm. Oh man, I'm so confused in the way the UI is working. Because I thought the first time we did it was like affirm and deny on this side, right? Because what if you click deny over here? No, if you had the kitchen knife, you would be able to threaten her. Okay, so now we know. So when we click deny on this, we're denying his statement. So it is his statement. I think. I suppose I could indeed. Why would I have missed Now of attack so? There's no point in using Miss Now. He must have had it out for so. Oh yeah, why wouldn't he just attack him himself? I guess he didn't want to be blamed for it? Again, I'm going to press affirm here because I think this is his side, but we're going to learn the UI very quickly. That's true, wouldn't it be? Yes, okay, so this, okay, now we know. Now we know for sure. These are all his sides of the point. Yeah, that's what I thought originally. That's true, wouldn't it be better to hit him yourself? Indeed, as I am greater arm strength. This isn't it. So we have to start over from the start again. So, affirm. She couldn't open the door. There we go. Then we have... Sorry, guys, I got mixed up with the UI a lot here. Could the door have been picked open? For this one, we said... Was it this one we said? No, that's not. It's the one up here. Sorry. Or was it this one then? No, what? Oh my god, it's... Okay. Okay, so... This was affirm. This is... Was it deny for this one? Or was it deny here? Or affirm here? Yeah, it was affirm. Then it was... Deny? Yeah, and then... There's no point in using this now. I think deny the fact that he had it out for so, maybe? There wasn't anything deep enough for resentment, which meant he had an objective not tied to so. If you insist that's the case, then what objective could have had? Okay, and then we have to steal something, perhaps. To destroy... to steal something, perhaps. So we're not just affirming their ideas. It's also maybe like... Because again, why would he say this? You know? So it's not just their ideas. The laptop? What are you referring to? Oh, you wanted to steal the laptop so hard. Okay, so we got this place. Okay, so sorry guys, I was confused on this whole this thing here. I think I understand the UI. It's not just always what they're saying, I don't think. I think it's also like just regular statements, because why would he say, hey, to steal something? So I think it's just regular statements. It doesn't always have to be from them. That was my bad for misinterpreting this completely, but yeah. We got there in the end. I remember Kai said he'd defend me on the condition he received the laptop, so so there's something to do with the laptop. You all remember the important part first. She lost herself enough to kick it, dude. Of course her memory's gonna be fuzzy. I'm sorry, but now I remember it clearly. Do you understand, Miss Now? Oh my god. Please retrieve the laptop with the knife as well for so in the hidden room. So we're just openly saying that this is what Kai did. This is our assertion that Kai just literally, with a knife, pointed it now and said, get that laptop. What a, again, beautiful artwork, but terrifying sprite of Kai here. I can't. If he sees me, he'll call for Sarah. Then you may borrow my my frying pan. So we hit her here. She hit him with the frying pan? This is a scary image of Kai here. Do not worry. Your strength is such that even a forceful whack with it will not kill. But the way even like no normal person thinks that way. You know? In my opinion, no ordinary person goes, yeah, don't worry, you won't do anything like if you knock him out. You know what I mean? Like you won't kill him because you're not that strong. If you refuse, I will hand this key to someone else. That's... Please, Miss Now, I'm not the only one who will be in trouble if you do not get the laptop. So there's something on the laptop that he needs? Because it's just, I wonder if this is an assumption or if he's going to go against this. Miss Sarah, what? Miss Sarah will be as well, why? Or is he just trying to use our name because everyone trusts us, right? Sarah? But that was all a lie, wasn't it? I think maybe he was trying to manipulate in some ways. Yeah, the reason I think it's a crazy statement to say to anybody, hey, you know, you won't kill someone if you hit with the pan. No one, I don't think regular people think about that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, I don't ever say regular because that's a really not a nice thing to say about, because I think some people might feel like they've been different their whole lives. But I'm talking about like someone who is, you know, threatening people. You know, I'm not talking about someone who's just different. I wonder if there's a thing where like, you know, like that's, I don't think I've ever thought about that. The idea of like, you know, it's not something that comes up just naturally. If you're talking about like maybe like true crime stuff, you might be like, oh yeah, well, how would she be strong enough to hit it with a frying pan? How would that dude even, you know, pick up the cinder block and use it? He wasn't strong enough, you know? You talk about that stuff, but I feel like that only comes up in conversations of like true crime stuff. No one just walks around thinking like, man, you know, if you hit that guy, you wouldn't be, because it's thought out. He thought about this, right? He thought about it, he calculated it. Oh, she wouldn't be strong enough to kill him. You know, that means there's a thought process in it. Kai didn't keep his promise. Kai must be the one who took the professor away. Might not necessarily be a lie, actually. Huh? Those music, man. The laptop is password locked. Considering that, why do you think Kai would be so serious about taking it? Because he has a way to bypass it? He needed a laptop battery? Maybe he had a way to bypass it? Could that be done with a special device? Well, there's nothing like that here, so it's actually more a laughable reason. Oh, okay. that's fine. It was just an easily guessable password. Don't you do the puppy dog eyes to us. We know what you are. Wait, if you know that, then you unlocked it? Of course. He did not say that to us before. He's been hiding a lot of stuff here. I think he knows how to play the game better than like anyone so far, right? I think at least he's playing the game more than anyone so far, for sure. Didn't you say you couldn't see anything? Yeah, but that was a lie. Another lie? You know what he could say to us about these lies? First of all, his lies are definitely more damaging than our lies. We lied about what we saw under the table with the sacrifice card, right? We lied about that, just factually so. So we didn't, but it is technically lying because he asked what did we see and we said we didn't see it. That's a lie. That's a lie. But I think there's different levels of lies, right? 100%. See the password. What? What? Our last name? How? What's you doing? What a bizarre lie. Sorry to say, but it's true. I tried typing in everyone's names. That actually is, I actually kind of believe you would do this. I don't think this is a stretch of the mind to think someone would try typing everybody's names. If you thought that someone in here was like a betrayer or something. But then that just leads people to like making Sarah be suspicious, right? Like someone could have done that to make her be suspicious. And my last attempt was to trustworthy Miss Sarah's last name, Chidoween. Imagine my shock. I've never seen a laptop in my life. Of course, I know this isn't your laptop, Miss Sarah. Then, it's Kai's. So, oh my god, revelation. If he's our stalker, and he was like stalking us, did you think he put our name as his laptop password? You read... Stop. Stop. No. No, 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 no. So you saw the emails he like sent us? So you admit it. What in the world is this? I wanted to read them all if only Miss Now hadn't whacked me. So what did you see though? Well now, what did they say? I remember them well. Oh my god, I don't know if I'm ready to even hear these. You know, I don't know if I'm ready to even like nearly hear it. What? As planned, 17 people have been secured. That's what it's. Oh, that's not what I was expecting. I was not expecting that whatsoever. I thought there were going to be emails to Sarah. Oh my. Wait, we're going with this? We're just going with this? Oh my god. Because I thought the emails were about to see were like something creepy like, why aren't you answering me, Sarah? You know, like that. Because again, but I want to make this clear as well. We're not talking about it yet with this crazy music in the background. But how must Sarah feel in this moment? The dude she knows is a stalker has his laptop with her name as his password. To me, again, I can't say how she feels because like again, I haven't had a stalker, and also like just being real. Like I'm also not like, you know, a girl who has to experience this type of stuff like on a regular. You know what I mean? Not obviously this extreme all the time. I'm talking about, you know what I mean? You know what I mean though. So like obviously I don't experience this, but I imagine like for me like my skin would be crawling. I would feel icky. I'd feel disgusting. You know what I mean? I'd feel like, you know, like there's filth in the air. You know what I mean? You would feel that kind of way. Let's talk to So about this. Horrible feeling. Poor Sarah. Among the emails on Kai's laptop was saying, as planned, 17 people have secured. So that means they're saying that he was, like, what So's trying to say is that he planned this. 17 people, though. I was able to read 4 emails. All of them sent from Kai to some other person. Though all of our addresses were different nonsense, addresses seem like codes. I'm guessing like security measure to hide who they're being sent to. I think you can do that, like a proxy. I'll recount it from the start, from all this, right? Okay. As planned, 17 people have been secured just in case. Is there no error in the date of the death game? Death game, just saying it right out. Everything is proceeding smoothly. I feel deep affection for Sarah as well. I will certainly protect her. I'm prepared to offer myself up for the... What? Wait. For the family? Chidoween's? Because the way he says he's offering himself up to... Because our mother got attacked as well, right? It's about time. If any harm comes to Sarah Chidoween, you will stand against even you as an enemy. I was standing... So he said, like, again, this is his, obviously, like, you know, his obsession with Sarah. I will stand against you. Because I need to make that clear as well, by the way, because, like, this is what, like, I think there's, like, a perception that, like, not always, but I think there's a perception sometimes that, like, you know, stalkers are binary, you know what I mean? I know talking about this is going to be probably, like, you know, possibly, and just obviously, like, you know, you guys know if we're talking about this game, we're talking about, like, a stalker. If there's anything that upsets you, please always take care of yourself, and you can use the transcript to search for the word and, like, totally skip it, right? 110%. But, there's a... but just be aware of this game. It's not going to be clearly not going to be pulling any punches. There's a thing where like some people might think that they're just like, oh, they're like, I'm eventually going to kill her. And eventually that's where it leads to, right? I want to make that clear. Like it's dangerous. It's so freaking dangerous, right? But it does sometimes also manifest as an affection that they believe is like so righteous. You know what I mean? To the point that they're like, they don't think of themselves as dangerous, right? But anyone who comes close to Sarah is seen as a danger. You know what I mean? Anyone is seen, you know, it's like I'm not the dangerous one. The person who was like talking to you at the bus stop the other day was dangerous. Who was that? You know? Miss Sarah's looking forward to the game. Surely your friend will also... Looking forward to the games? Wait, do you think he's embellishing some of this? He's an embellisher. So Embellisher the third over here. His father was So Embellisher the first. I don't know how that makes sense, but it does. What in the world? Death game, you gotta be shooting clearly. He's talking about this. Kai, it's gotta be wrong, right? You can't be with the kidnappers, yeah? Well, where the prone scoundrel and Sarah Chidoween acquainted? Where are they? I wouldn't say acquainted. Do we have to just be honest about what we feel about this now? Because again, like I think this is probably maybe a time, but again, it's up to Sarah. I'm not gonna ever like, you know, it's up to how she feels. I'll try to like gauge how she feels. Kai is the man who's Oh, I thought she said it outright. No, it's in her head. You don't think the friend is Joe? I mean, that would make sense. This music is so cool. Me? I inferred that much myself. It's the fact that Kai knew about this death game. He's with the kidnappers. And more terrifying yet, Miss Sarah and Joe with the... No. He's embellishing some stuff 110%. I do believe... there's some stuff there I could believe 110%. The idea of trying to protect Sarah, I do believe that like a stalker would be like that. But this is embellishing it. He's doing an embellishment again. He loves this. He loves doing this. If he's not embellishing, he's not breathing. You know what I mean? How dare you? How dare you say that? Oh my god, Joe jumping in right away to like back us up as well, by the way. Which again, I'm not surprised. And he should do that too. Not that he should, like, you should do that. I mean, kind of like, his personality is definitely that type of personality. I think he's embellishing stuff here. Again, if he stopped at like him saying that Kai was just involved in this, there's a lot of believability there, right? But the fact that he embellished and said that we're also looking forward to the game, and he's already lied before. That would be my argument. This guy's lying out his he's talking out his butt like 20 times a day, you know? At some point, it's just going to be him constantly being like, well, I heard that Kana hates Guitaro. Like, be quiet, so. No. I heard that you're a big poopy head. Oh, so. I'm just saying. I heard you're a poopy head. What can I say? Let's see what Joe has to say right now. If we were the kidnappers, obviously we wouldn't do that dangerous trial. We can't even trust the contents of those emails to start with. What if So is just making it up as he goes? I kind of think it's a viable answer. If So's opinion catches on like this, we'll be in danger 110%. Miss Sarah and Joe are with the kidnappers too. You can gather as much for the emails. As planned, 70 people. So he's saying the same thing he said before. I feel a deep affection for Sarah. He's saying all the email again. It's about time. Yeah, he's saying all the emails again. See? Okay, I think it's a versus. Store a statement. And we'll put it against this. So you won't admit it. Obviously, we nearly died in the first trial too. We did at the last second. I saved both of them. The last second. That's right. Something that's terrifying. There's no point in doing yourself, is there? Especially since, like, we also got attacked. Her mother got attacked. Right? This is just the truth. You really do the trial? You can't prove it, can you? What? You cannot prove yourself either, though. If we had the laptop here, your lies would be exposed as well. Honestly, I never thought I'd say, like, yes, Kai, true. Like, very true. We're not giving this guy an inch, by the way, at all. Kai's not getting any special treatment just because he's saying something true right now. Even after your threat was exposed, you're still staying stubborn, eh? For argument's sake, I might accept Kai's a bad guy, but I can't get those two being our enemies. I love Rico. I love Rico so much. Huh? Look at his eyes, man. The wild eyes. Back in Russian roulette, it was Sarah Joe being there that got us through safe. So true, Guitara. And if Sarah wanted to, in that moment, she could have just shot people dead. I had the pattern working that I knew that I could kill anyone in that moment. I could kill 3 people and save Joe. Big Sis Sarah got me out of a cage. You look weak, but you're real cheeky. Hold on a second. This isn't what... Just making sure, but didn't you read the emails wrong, did you? This is incredible. You know what's actually happening here? And I think it's actually really, really cool. Every character is instantly standing up for Sarah. And Joe as well, but I mean, like, I think they put so much stock in Sarah. You know what I mean? They do. And, like, I think maybe So is kind of realizing, oh, man, it's going to be harder to push back against this character. And maybe I picked the wrong character to try and turn them against, you know? Because legitimately, like, it's like, it's not unexpected that everyone stands up for Sarah, even, you know, even our stalker, because of course he would have affection for us in the worst way possible. It's not surprising that everyone's standing up for us. It's not surprising whatsoever. Oh no. Oh no. Huh? How strange. What's that, everyone? Think calmly now. Look, Kai and Nao's actions were proven. Now hit me, made a big bump even. Doubted me, now it's illogical. The problem is, and I think what's happening here, this is really anxiety-inducing a beat in the background. The problem is, and this is the biggest problem for Soul right now, is that, and this happens with anyone who's like I'm not saying he's a pathological liar, right? I'm saying he just lies a lot already, but I don't know if he does it all the time in his regular life too. But The problem is when you have someone who's constantly lying and trying to pit other people against them, right? Have you ever seen this in a friend group where like there's someone who, like, we've all had that one person, like, if especially in a bigger friend group, but there's one person who's like trying to pit people against each other. It happens, right? Because humans aren't perfect and they aren't amazing all the time. But there's always that time, you know, when that person's constantly like, man, yeah, I really don't like Johnny, and then everyone goes like, yeah, sure, yeah, Johnny's a bit weird, yeah, and he's like, there's like a smile on the face, like, oh, I'm doing it right. Yeah, and then later on, 2 weeks later, yeah, and I don't really like Marcus. Marcus ain't good either. You know, he does this and does that. And so everyone goes, yeah, Marcus is like, yeah, I can see that. I could totally see that. Yeah, he's a bit like annoying sometimes, yeah. And then the next week they go, what about Sarah? Sarah gives a bad vibe, right? Sarah gives a really bad vibe. And everyone goes, you're talking about Sarah? Sarah? Because there's always like that one person in the group that everyone's like doesn't play about. And Sarah's that person in this group. People are like, no. Like, no. It's just he chose the wrong person to put the blame on. It's just weird. Why does everyone believe Miss Sarah? It's building up trust. Look at the panic on his face. How pitiful. It seems the difference in trust between you is the difference between heaven and earth. Whoa. So he's saying that like look at the smile as well. He's saying that like that the reason why people trust, that Sarah's trust versus the trust in you is like that much of a difference. What the hell? Open your eyes, everybody. I'm telling you what's right. Corner him, offer a helping hand? What the hell type of answer is this? He's lying though. Offer a helping hand to me, like, look, wouldn't that just mean that like we're just letting him like, but we're letting him accuse us? That wouldn't make any sense. And while I'd like, you know, I'd love to be like I'd love to, you know, help him out if he's in a terrifying situation, right? Because we don't know if this guy's evil or if he's just like really like mentally not there, right? Right? But does offer a helping hand, does that allow like us to make a situation I don't know. I was going to say, does that allow us to make a situation where it's like a little bit less tense? You know what I mean? Like it makes everything like calm down a little bit. I don't know. Because I'll be honest, I'm leaning towards corner. Right? I'm leaning towards corner. But I also think that we could calm some stuff down as well. Does it matter? That's the thing. Some of the choices don't matter. I think I'll go with my gut because I'll go with trying and question him even more, and so he tells the truth. It's hard, but so you're a liar. Actions and behaviors are what build trust. He's lying about us. I don't know if he's lying about Kai. That made me have a pit in my stomach because again, I don't think this dude is like all right there. I was thinking like the reason I was like kind of like questioning the other choice guys and like is that I legitimately think there's a thing where like I'm worried that backing him too much into a corner will make him more dangerous and will create tension even worse when maybe the other hand we could do something else, you know? No one believe, like maybe do things more calmly. No one believe the words of a liar. So would you please, oh, Jesus. Oh, the tears as well? Enough. Oh! Oh my God, what the hell? I was gonna end the video soon, but we can't now. Look at this. Amazing, sir. Your prodigy is seizing people's hearts. So he's just like, yeah, I've been caught. I've been cornered. Oh my God. Look at this terrifying image. What the hell? Shameful the rest of you. The riffraff. don't value your lives. So he's like saying you should be on my side. This image, man. Because I thought we were getting to a stage where like we were gonna see there was some like kind of like mental kind of like thing with him where he was like, had a really bad like mental health. He was like, trying his best to like, I don't fit in or something. I didn't know what was gonna happen. But in reality, he's actually just this. Like, this is wild. Look at this image. How terrible, how crazy this is. Don't you doubt when others are kind? What does that mean? Do you not even have brains to think for yourselves? He's legitimately like, you guys are a bunch of puppets. You guys are a bunch of puppets. This is not going to help with your believability, I'll tell you that much. For sure it's not going to help with your believability. That is just a matter of time for you. That's the way the weaklings live. Oh my god. So legitimately you want us to like you want us to like all fall in line with what you're saying? Oh my god, his sprite even changed. That's a cool design. Like the hiding the mouth with the eyes just peeking out. And the laugh as well. What the hell's happened to you? This is kind of scary. This is kind of spooky. It's kind of scary. I've given up on all of you incompetence. Worthless, every one of you. So he's tried to manipulate everyone. And now he's like, no. The loner snapped. Meow. I'm scared. Don't worry, Jim. Again, we're not going to let anything happen to you. Do you think it's what it is? It's like the fact that he couldn't manipulate us. I don't know enough about like that ideal, but do you think it is kind of like it is I don't want to say narcissism. We know the kind of thing where it's like when you back someone into a corner when they've like said so many like inconsistencies and they snap instead of like, when they have nowhere else to go. I can't count out on any of you anymore. Miss Sarah, let's talk it out ourselves. What? This is the fastest way. This sprite is so cool. He's definitely like has it out for or at least like he's definitely not right in the mind. Oh. Oh, look at this. Kai is with the kidnappers. He even asked... Oh, we have to pick the right... He even asked the date of the death game via email. And Miss Sarah's on it too. So, don't we have to pick the... Which one do we have to pick? I forget this game. Oh, the inconsistency, the lie? Hold on, you're wrong. Where's the proof that I'm definitely with them? I think it can be inferred from the emails. So that's all it is? A conjecture? I see. So you have to pick the one that's wrong, right? All the emails were sent to a single person. According to the emails, Kai seemed to love Miss Sarah. I sense a strange devotion to the students too. They were sent to different emails. So earlier you said that they were all sent to different email addresses. What about it? That means saying they all went to one person is just your own assumption. I'm pretty confident in it, though. I suppose there's no proof. Well, I'm just claiming it anyway. It's a really fun minigame as well. Likely someone from the Chidweens is involved in this, but to Kai, there's not as important as Miss Sarah. Aren't those three getting more and more dubious? This one? I understand how Kai is suspicious, even suspicious... I understand how Kai is suspicious. Even suspicious of me is inevitable, but... Suspecting the three of us as a group isn't right. I agree. You're just presenting this in a manipulative way. Geez, that's a sharp remark. Well, I'll say it like this for you. I hadn't even imagined Joe would be involved too. Her friend will always take part in the games of scary stuff. After all, Miss Sarah is looking forward to them. But he said that he thought Joe was involved too. He said he was the friend, right? Joe's name isn't even mentioned in the email. Making a conclusion of that is letting your assumptions go wild. You like personal attacks, huh, Miss Sarah? Well, I guess I'll acknowledge it. That said, I'm not gonna let you escape. This is a really long one. 17 secured, add 3, and it matches the tier list in the bar. Taking the laptop by force tells the whole story, huh? After this, do you still think Kai... Do you still deny any relation to Kai? I don't remember how many's in the bar. Should we try this one? Oh, no, because I was saying, like, maybe we were saying that, like, we're not going to deny it because he's our stalker, but you know what I mean? What's that? You can find some proof too, so these proof the emails were there. Funny you said it after you guys stole it. So unfortunately, I don't have proof. Then we're in the same situation. I'm denying those emails. Did we do good? Okay, yeah. That's fine, we'll take that. Man, the tension went up by 20 miles with this stuff. We went from, like, something like that was, like, completely... already a terrifying situation to being even more terrifying now that we know that like this character that we kind of suspected over time that at first I thought was just like a little bit of a fibber actually has like some sort of like more dangerous tendency when he's talking to us. Like if he's acting like this. I'm exhausted. I feel kind of sick. Do you want to sit down or something then? I think I refuted nearly all of his remarks. And yet why? Why is there an air of swirling wait, there's this... Did we get it wrong? We only damaged our own trust. Are you serious? Did I get it wrong? Should I not have cornered him? Doubting Sarah just isn't right. Wow, so maybe there is a chance that they will suspect her at some point. You want us all to be killed off? What do you think would be worse for you? So here's the thing. I thought there was no way they would suspect her, but I guess after this whole discussion, they changed a bit. If a guy like me with no trust were a traitor, no, that can't be it. If Miss Sarah was your enemy, right? It'd be Miss Sarah was your enemy, right? Now see here. Yes, your attention, please. Oh, Miley. Sorry to intrude while you're getting all fired up. It's now time for a preliminary vote. We have to vote now? Wait, at a time like this? Oh my god. So I think, did we do that questioning wrong a little bit? Maybe we did. And that's why there was a bit of suspicion on us. Because I thought there's no way they'd suspect us, but I wonder if it's because they were hearing all the arguments in a row and that's what changed the perspective on everybody. What the hell did we do? We got no conclusions. How are we going to make a vote without regrets? What can I say now? Don't say anything so we don't arouse suspicion, maybe? Because they're already a little suspicious. Maybe we just don't say anything because maybe it sounds like we're trying to be desperate. I have nothing. I just have to believe in everyone. Sarah! Be brave, everybody. Maybe that actually was the wrong thing to do. Those feelings do not want to be betrayed are just getting in the way. So he's saying that like, oh, just because you don't want to be betrayed doesn't mean you're not going to be betrayed. You have to be weary of this. Doubting Miss Sarah is a step forward. How did he turn this around? Is he just that good of a manipulator? I think saying everything in a row, all the evidence made everyone kind of like a bit suspicious of us. I underestimated him for sure. I definitely underestimated him. So you really are. Come on, let's vote already. Because I thought it was like that friend who like tries to manipulate everything, but then you kind of like catch them. And now, it's your turn to die. Oh my god, the name of the freaking game. Do you think we failed a lot here? Please choose who to vote for. I mean, so, right? Like, at this point, it just makes the most sense. Yeah, it just makes the most... Well, Kai as well, though. That's the thing. We have So and Kai here. Both, like legitimately, like, we have reasons to vote them out. You know what I mean? One is literally our stalker and is now admitted to having his laptop with, that he tried to get back of it with his name on it as well. So is literally lying to kill us. Does it matter? Is it a story-based thing where they're going to choose the vote anyway? Man, it's so tough because the thing is, right, this just makes sense. Go with Kai, right? To get him out of here. But then also it makes sense to stop So as well. Both are options for like group safety and Sarah's safety. So actually I might just flip a coin. Yeah, I'll do a random flip of a coin online, okay guys? And I hope it doesn't sound like I'm being like, oh yeah, like I choose a stalker over someone who's a liar. You know what I mean? Because that's not what I'm saying here. It's just that like it's one of those situations where like I feel like I'm leaning more towards Kai because that's the like again, it's like someone who's lying desperately, horribly, right? Is still to me not as like immoral as the idea of a stalker. You know what I mean? Like who has our name as their laptop password. And I don't think and Kai didn't deny that aspect. You know? He didn't deny that that's what he did. And that's what worries me the most, actually. You get what I'm saying here? Like, it's like... We also have to think of who could be the sacrifice. You know? It's not so, because he called himself the Keymaster. Right? Oh man, this again, I hope it makes sense what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying the soul isn't dangerous, but I'm saying that, like, a stalker versus a freaking liar, it's like two different things. You know, they're both dangerous, but like in different ways. Oh my god. Honestly, I don't know if it's going to matter, but like, I'm leaning towards Kai now. But what if he's the... Yeah. Oh god, this... Because again, I want to be clear, I'm not feeling bad, like, oh, I have to vote for Kai, you know? It's like, clearly, like, you know... Yeah. It's hard because it's not hard because I'm like, oh, I have to vote for poor Kai. I'm not saying that, but it's like, so or Kai in this situation would have been right, but like, I don't know. You're still sending someone to probably die. What? 2 votes for... Oh my god, what for... Oh my god. That's our 3rd vote. 4 votes for Kai. So in the end, I'm going to say that this would not have mattered. Am I right in saying that? Just in this vote. Maybe the later votes matter because no matter who I voted for, it wouldn't have mattered. Because the 5 people that are going to the preliminary votes are Sarah, Joe, Kana, So, and Kai. Those are the 5 people that are going towards the votes. And yes, I had an extra vote to Kai, but regardless, he would have been in the top 5 anyway. And you know what's so crazy about this? This is actually like so weirdly like well written and makes sense. Not because I believe that Sarah and Joe did something, but because from the perspective of the people around them now, they started to get suspicious after that final conversation. So Kana already said like, hey, choose me. Kana already said choose me. Also is very suspicious, but I'm surprised he didn't get more votes, to be honest, like, because I think it's because he actually is like a pretty good manipulator. I think he is. He argued back against us and saved himself from getting more votes. From the perspective of Kai, he hasn't really denied like a lot of this stuff, and it's kind of been proven, as So said, that like he wanted that laptop and the name and all this stuff too, and they're seeing the association there as well. The 4 votes for Sarah and Joe means that 4 more people were convinced of what happened here, which again, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot. And I'd say you can imagine that one of those votes is So. The vote isn't Kai. So I'm guessing So and a few other people were suspicious. And Kana might have voted for herself as well, so you have to look at it that way too. So there is a thing where like a few people were suspicious of Joe, a few people were suspicious of Sarah, 2 people, the same amount of people were suspicious of So, which Joe could have voted for So as well, or Kai. We voted for Kai. Even thinking about this is so interesting, right? It's so interesting. But we have the final 5. The final 5 grouping is insane. Oh, poor Sarah. Think it from her perspective as well, by the way. Like, her stalker is in this death game with her. And she's just basically been told that like her stalker potentially wrote these, because again, we don't know what emails are real and what aren't real. And now she's saying she has to go into the final 5 with not only the person that has lied about her, but now is lying about Joe. And also, the dynamic there is crazy. Her best friend, right? The girl who wants to die. The guy who's lying about her. The guy who stalks her. That final 5 is insane. Like, an insanely personal to Sarah. Fear is welcome. I mean, of course it's the final 5. That's terrifying. What do you think of the results? 5 will proceed to the final vote. Kana Kuzuichi. Kai Sato. Joe Tazuna. Why me? So Hiyori. I see. And Sarah Chiduin. Will die? One of us 5 will certainly... I don't want to die. I'm the Keymaster. I'm the Keymaster, please believe me. Sarah. Why did that come out now? Because you don't want to die. You know, of course you don't. I still want to live. Am I safe? You're kidding me, me too? Dumbass is the next part that's seriously bad. Our votes will decide our fates. Do we have to choose? Basic Sarah, we know Gin definitely didn't vote for us. Why me? I've tried so hard. It literally was the last moment. She's been the most trusted person in this game, and in the last moment, someone convinced 4 people, or 3 people, let's say 3 people, to vote for Sarah in those last moments. And I think it was just sometimes, and I underestimated him. A manipulator can be very convincing. And not just for myself. It was so everyone could escape, so why? It does, again, this is another thing that feels nasty. Sarah's been working around the clock to search for things, help people through things. It must feel very hurtful. I don't want to die, I don't. Get a grip, Sarah. I know Keiji didn't vote for us. I mean, hey now, Sarah. Your friendly policeman's with you. Keiji. Listen, everybody, we need to narrow it down to just one person. Forget your sympathy and your grudges and just remember the roles. If we choose the Keymaster or sacrifice, we all die. Yes, indeed. We're far from safe at all, absolutely. Oh, hey. Is one of us the sage? If we got a sage on our side, well, they'll know who's the Keymaster. Is anyone going to own up to being the sage? Don't tell me there isn't. It's the worst, so it's one of the 5? Nothing to be done. There's only one course of action. And here's the thing, if I'm the sage now in the final 5, are you going to reveal who the Keymaster is? No, you're probably going to claim to be the Keymaster. Have the 5 provable words, isn't that right, Sarah? I guess that's the best we can do. It's the best we can do. There's only one option here, yes. What a terrifying situation, man. What an absolutely terrifying situation. It must feel so bitter for Sarah. Exactly. I'll prove to you who the real Keymaster is. Good. Remember people's words and actions and discussions that were a path to victory... where the path to victory lies. Okay. Final round. Oh, with the UI again. And the sky's gone red as well. The final 20 minutes, please use this endlessly short time efficiently. I'll be praying you don't fall, all perish. Miley quietly sat in the chair again. The final battle begins. What a crazy section here. Guys, we're going to end the video here, and we're going to the final section next time. I'll even save the game here as well. This was a crazy way to, like, end this. We got to admit when we're wrong with our assertions and are wrong with our ideas here. And in the end, what happened here was that I think that in some way, shape, or form, the argument that we had, maybe not just like So himself, was able to convince people that Sarah could be a little bit suspicious. And the issue is that it happens here again, as we're saying, is no matter how much you trust someone, in the face of danger and death, you start to think, wait, what if my intuition is wrong? Now, only 2 people voted for Sarah, so it's not like it's not like everyone thought Sarah was bad, right? It's not like everyone thought Sarah was bad. And chances are one of those was So, right? But to me as well, though, So voting for us is crazy because he knows that we're not a liar. He knows that we're not a bad person. He knows that we tell the truth, right? He knows that we do. At least from my perspective, he knows because that's why he's lying all the time. He knows that we're like a more honest person. So when he said we're the Keymaster, in my view, would he believe us? So I wonder, was it so that he even voted for us? Right? Did he vote for Joe instead? Which could be a possibility also. Because the thing is like, so I can't really say that everyone's broken their trust with us if only 2 people have voted for us. So that's not the case, but right? But there obviously is like a little bit of a tension there. There is a little bit of like, is it true? And again, I'm not going to sit here and fault everybody for like changing their perspective on Sarah a tiny, because it's not like they openly said, oh, Sarah's a bad person. They just all had this look in their face of like a little bit of suspicion, right? Is it true? And again, I'm not going to sit here and fault them, because you have to understand in these situations, friends can become enemies so quickly. The people that you love can all of a sudden become the people that you fear the most. Like, this is a place, obviously, in this death game, in this world. And we've talked about this in other games too, when we played 100 Line, when we played Danganronpa, when we play any game that has people in closed spaces for a long time and where they could die at any moment. The perspective that people have on the world shifts completely. You could have the nicest person in the entire world who picks flowers every day and gives them out to people and loves everybody. But in that world there, you don't know how they would act, right? Because like we like to sit here as like video game fans and sit here and be like, I would never believe so for a second, you know? But when you're in that situation, in those high anxiety situations, and someone's in your ear, it can change a lot of things, right? It's also difficult for a lot of people, not just like, you know, sometimes we all fall for that stuff, right? Where there's someone in your ear talking about someone else and you're like, whoa, they did that? Right? Even if like you try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, there's always going to be like that one moment in your life where like something like gets in your ear and stays there. You know, it happens. It does happen. And we got to be honest, because I think what I think happens now online nowadays is a lot of people like to not be honest with the damaging feelings that we can have as well. The example I always give is like, I saw like a tweet like a while back, and it was someone being like, I'm so jealous of my boyfriend's best friend. I really want to, I hate her, you know? And from my perspective, I was like, that's like a really ordinary feeling to have. Not like, you can say, well, being hateful is an ordinary, but I think it is. I think it's like an ordinary feeling that like in our souls, we sometimes get like jealous. We sometimes get like really like hurtful for no reason. In our mind, we go like, oh, this dude annoys the hell out of me for no reason. That happens with people. I think sometimes we like to punish like, and because it got so many quote tweets at the time. I forget the actual tweet itself, but it got so many quote tweets at the time, I believe, that it was just like, but that happened. It's not even a specific tweet. It happens all the time. And you can say it's just Twitter, but I think it's online in general where people like are honest with their feelings and go like, man, I really hate this. And it's like, and if you stop to think, you're like, that's a really ordinary feeling. And then it's like, everyone's like, what the hell, dude? Move on. Stop being so silly. I really like my best friend, but they don't like me. Move on, idiot. And it's like, dude, have some compassion. People are awkward. They have different personalities. We all have different values. We're all weird. We all have different like ideals. And it's like, you're sitting here going like, oh, like, you know, I'm better than you. You know, it's like, no, you're not. You know, and that's why I'm sitting here saying that I'm not going to, for the people that voted for Sarah, I'm not going to sit here and be like, you're idiots for believing in the manipulation that was going on here, right? For perceived manipulation, because maybe, who knows, maybe it was a forged thing of the laptop as well, right? In these situations, it's a way more terrifying world, right? It's a way more terrifying situation. As I said, all of a sudden, everyone becomes suspicious, right? If you think that someone's killed someone, someone has become suspicious, right? And especially since they proved the idea that, like, in my perspective, am I right in saying that they proved the idea that, like, Kai did organize a little bit of a hit job on So, you know? And, again, I think that with the voting process in the end, the way they did the voting process was really, from a writing perspective, they did a superb job. The reason I think it's a superb job is it's so personal to Sarah, and which means it's personal to us. If we're already attached to Sarah, which we are, then it becomes a personal ending to this trial. The 5 people in the final trial are Sarah, Joe, Kana, Kai, and So. 2 of these people will die, right? Is that what we're getting at here? Because the sacrifice will die no matter what. Right, if they're not picked. Now, if you're the sacrifice and you're not in the final 5, how terrified are you? How freaking terrified are you? Because if you're the sacrifice and you're in the 5 that didn't get voted in to die, you are dead, right? No matter what, which is you're terrified right now, right? So I'm guessing the sacrifice might be in the final 5. Who knows? But as I said, the reason why that's such a great final 5 is because everyone in some ways has a connection to Sarah on different levels. Suo, the one that's trying to convince everyone that Sarah's a bad guy. Joe, our best friend. Kai, our stalker. Kana, the gal that like doesn't no longer wants to trust us and at one point did trust us. There's all these connections here that really make it. And you could say, well, there's other characters that are personal here too, but I feel like these are like the characters that like have impacted Sarah the most, both negatively and positively in this world, in my view. The only other thing I think they did a smart thing not putting KG in the final 5, right? Even though they're still all going to get to give their opinions, the people on the outside. I want to make that clear, but I'm saying that like, I think KG and Sarah have like a different type of relationship where it's like KG generally seems to want to help Sarah, and Sarah and KG seem to work together very well when it comes to like doing like different investigations and stuff. So it's not really the type of like personal thing where it's like, it's not as close as it is with Joe, which is like a very loving friendship, right? And it's not as like tension filled with like the other characters. He's just a character that's very helpful to us. So not putting him in the final 5 I think was actually a good choice. If you want to make it like really kind of like dreadful and horrifying and anxiety inducing, right? For sure. Now you could argue that like putting someone in that we really like is a good idea, which is why Joe is there. That's our close buddy, you know? Hope he's not the sacrifice. Yeah. We also have the idea that there could be a sage amongst us, and the sage if the sage is in the final 5, they're not going to say a thing. If the sage is in the other 5, they're going to say something. If you're in the final 5 and you're a sage, like again, you could say, well, you have to be honest, but again, if you're about to die, you don't know how you're going to act, you know? Like if I'm in the final 5 and I'm like, wait, if I say I'm the sage right now and I say who the keymaster is, that means I'm the safest one besides this, and I admit that I'm the sage, then voting for me to die is the safest option. I know it's a horrible way to look at it. If you say, hi, I'm the sage, okay. You know, not that people will be like, okay, but I'm just saying if you were stuck in between a rock and a hard place and let's say Kana was like, I'm the sage, right? Instantly then in that moment it's like, if she can die safely, and sounds so horrible to say, she can die and everyone else will not die, right? And that's another thing that terrifies me about this final 5, right? Are they going to kill off So this early into the game, right? That's what I'm thinking. I don't think so, right? That's a terrifying prospect of the idea of would they kill off So, you know? But I don't know, you know? And there's all these questions in our head where it's like, would they kill off Kana, who still has like a lot left in the tank in terms of a story, right? Would they kill off Joe, who's our closest friend, which would be such an early hit to our heart? Would they kill off Kai, who's such an important part of like the early parts of the stage of the story, the anxiety and the fear that we have in this stuff too? Everybody has a reason to go forward, both story-wise and obviously real life-wise. Of course, they want themselves to live personally. But I'm saying story-wise, every single person in that room has a reason why I could see them going forward in this story, in terms of the dynamic with the story. You know, whether it be for adding anxiety and fear to the story, or whether it's just something as simple as like, we love these characters and they love us. It's crazy, right? It's and that's why it's so well done. Everyone, story-wise, plot-wise, I could see getting to the end of this game. And that to me is great writing. The fact that I can't look at this group and go like, it's going to be them that dies. You know what I mean? The fact that that you look at that and you can't pick it out, that's good. That's really good. In terms of the voting stuff as well, the unfortunate thing that might come down to in this game, if Kai is the sacrifice, we cannot vote for him. Su is not the sacrifice. If he is, he's insane. Saying he's the keymaster, that's just insane, right? If Kana is the sacrifice, I wouldn't want to vote for Kana anyway, or Joe. But we can't vote for them either. But there's also a situation then, if Joe is the sacrifice, then no matter if we vote for him, if he gets voted for, he can choose to save us, right? So I think if Joe is the sacrifice and he dies, we're saved, right? But not everyone else is saved. If Kana is the sacrifice and she dies, I don't know if she save us at all. But she wants to die though. You know what I mean? The dynamics are so crazy. In this episode, I think they actually did a really fantastic job with, like, again, the writing with all the characters, putting the pressure on different characters and adding a different element of fear to this game. I think they utilized the fact that we know that Kai was our stalker to like a really amazing degree, where the anxiety surrounding him means that we have a character that we already don't trust in him, and then we have a character like So, who we're growing to trust less and less and less and less and less. And then we have the dynamic as well with Now, who's just a really good person, but like we have to like also reckon with the fact that like she's also being possibly like she was being manipulated by Kai and all this stuff as well. So there's also that too, the stuff with the head. There's like so many little tiny things where it's like, I want to trust like some of these characters, like say like Now and some other characters, like Now especially, right? But it's also a thing where it's like, but I can't fully. You know, there's like a 10% element there where it's like, I want to protect Now, but at the same time there's 10% where it's like, something's happening. You know what I mean? And that's, again, really good writing in my opinion. The way that So changed up in this episode as well, I think was also really well done, because what they did, and I appreciate this a lot, they had him be a suspicious character, but I chalked it up to the fact that like he was just a weirdo. You know, I chalked it up to the fact he was just one of those guys who was just like, what's up with him, man? Like, what's he doing here? Because at first I even said last episode, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt with the idea of like why you would lie in this situation. And he ended up like showing his true colors. But the problem is, for us, he's accusing us of lying, right? And he's doing this like facial expression to us. And it looks crazy and it looks really weird. But I guess to like some other people, it might not be as weird because all they're hearing are the arguments of like, you were named in the emails, you know? And I wonder if there is a shift in some ways, maybe a little bit, for some people, one or two people, where it's like, well, if Sarah lied about the emails and the connection to Kai, is there a possibility that she also lied about being the keymaster, you know? Because that's a domino effect. If you think all of a sudden, because then it also reverses around. If you think all of a sudden there's suspicion on Sarah, then the suspicion that you had on So turns around, right? Because all of a sudden him saying I'm the keymaster becomes, oh, maybe he was the keymaster. Him saying that, he was just joking about the Joe thing, maybe he was joking, you know? All the stuff he's saying about the emails, maybe the emails are true. Maybe all that's all true, you know? So you have this thing where like all of a sudden it can turn the tables a bit, where it's like if he's a really good manipulator, it goes from being like Sarah's the most honest and caring person and we trust her completely, which is what I thought was going for here, to, oh wait, what if So's telling the truth? And again, that's what happens between these enclosed walls and these dangerous spaces. Really. Yeah. Really well done stuff here. Really terrifying stuff. The dynamic here between all the characters is incredible. The questioning in the mini games is so fun, even if sometimes I get it wrong. I'm having a blast with this game, but also it's very terrifying. So there's also that element too. But I do think that they're doing a really fantastic job with like all of this. Like I think it's incredible. It's so incredible. And I really can see myself. I get lost in this game when I play it. You know what I mean? I get lost in it. But I can see myself by the end of this game, feeling so attached. I'm already attached to these characters, but so attached to these characters that wherever we end up at the end of this game, it's going to be heartbreaking no matter what. You know, it's going to be really heartbreaking. And to end there, like, I stand by my vote with Kai, right? Here's the thing. I know there was a thing where Sarah was questioning, is he this guy? Who is he? What's he doing? I understand this. But all I can go on is like trusting Sarah's feelings, right? And that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to deny her feelings. I'm not going to do that, right? The worst thing you could do in those situations when it comes to like someone who is so sure of it. And it's not that you have to go out and be like, you know, you did this, you know, not that. It's like validate someone's feelings and be like, look, I believe you, right? You know, I believe you. Even if she's doubting herself at some points, I don't want to just like invalidate her feelings here. And, you know, that's another thing though. It's like, well, how much does So know? If those emails aren't true, how could he really know that? Because that's another thing that's weird. How could he have known that? Because I think elements of those emails are true. Because it could be a possibility where like parts of the email was true, which is that him saying he loves Sarah, and then the other element is like, what you call it? He added the other parts to it that were a part of it, right? Off the love part. So maybe there's like nuggets of truth, because it wouldn't make any sense of how he would be able to relate it so perfectly to like our own traumatic experience with him being a stalker, you know? So I'm not ever going to apologize for the Kai thing whatsoever. Like, I would have done it again. The reason I was only questioning what I should vote for is because I was going for So right away, but then I was like, no. Like, and I know this sounds weird, but I'll stand by it. A liar is less dangerous than a stalker that sends someone to attack somebody else. I'll stand by that. Write it in stone. That's my statement. I'll stand by it for now. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much for always supporting this series so far. It's been amazing. I love the reactions to this series. You guys are incredible. You guys are really incredible. But yeah, it's been such an enjoyable experience for sure. if you want to see these videos early, it's on YouTube members, and also it's on Patreon at the lowest tier, which is €1 or whatever it is in your currency. And that is legitimately like every video of Return to Die will be early, whether it be like 1 or 2 days early, or maybe something's 3 days early. You never know. So like, for example, the video you're watching right now probably came out like 2 or 3 days beforehand. The Monday video, for example, came out on like last Thursday, sometimes Fridays. Like it always depends on the day, really, but like they do come out early and you get to see them early. 110%. But yeah, it's something that helps out the channel quite a bit, and of course always appreciated as well. 110%. And if you're a YouTube member and you want to find out where the actual videos go, they go in the post section. I go and post, and there's a video, there's a post with like all the video links that will be there as well. And if you want to get your name in the text credits, it's going by right now, that is €10 or whatever it is in your currency. And if you want your name read out at the end of every single video as a shout out, that will be €15 or whatever that is in your currency. And it's always very, very appreciated of that as well. And I'm going to thank first at the highest tier of my patrons, that being Typharo 2, Jamie Bull, Jana the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Delicious Felix, Yuld, Anusta, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Kasperian, Jerebianum, Neo Showerite, Leah 200, Malcolm Hyundai, and at the highest tier of my YouTube members, Royal Gamer 7, Blasco, Kusanagi. See you guys soon. Bye bye.